So I'm going to be doing probably about 3 videos discussing what this person, our beautiful friend here, is curious about. Just so you guys know, if you haven't seen me before, I am not a doctor, a dietitian, a nutritionist. I have just been on my fitness journey for several decades, and I have never stopped learning, and I just continue to learn. And so that's what I'm just sharing you is what I've learned. I use myself as my own test subject, guinea pig. So right now, our friend is just saying, I know you know your shit, I need a serious renovation with my diet, and have been hearing more and more about carnivore, and you touched down on, and after that she says mental health. So yeah, let's talk about it. What I love about, you can call it carnivore, you can call it animal-based, there's different levels, if you will, but carnivore is basically, from what I understand, meat, eggs, water, and salt. Like, that is all you eat. You eat until you are comfortably full, or as other, doctors have said, till the food stops tasting good. That's what Dr. Chafee says. Look him up. He's the hardcore doctor. That's what I call him, because he's just, and again, when I'm talking about these things, again, my goal is to get you guys to do your own research and see what works for you. I have been on this animal-based diet journey it's been almost 2 months now. And I'll show you another video where I talk about how much things have changed. Things are, from one extreme to another is basically what I'm going with. But let's just talk about the part that she touched on this question, which was mental health. It's so weird going down this rabbit hole. As someone who has dealt with mental health issues my entire life, ever since I had a skull fracture at the age of 6, this was very interesting to me because I see a lot of people with kids, and there's been a lot of, tests done. And when I say tests, maybe that's not the right word. A lot of people that have done their own research, have done their own, experiments with, this type of thing. Let me give you an example. And again, this is just based on the podcast that I've watched, but there was this mother who had a child with autism, and the kid did not speak very much at all. I don't think he was vocal at all. And she went to this doctor, and he said, well, just try giving your kid, just do the carnivore diet with the kid. And the kid was older, it's probably maybe in the range of 8 to 10 years, something like that. Don't quote me on this. But after so many weeks of just, eating meat and eggs and water, he started speaking. And I was like, no way. And so, further watching this video, and he said that when the kid would go to his grandparents' house, they like to have candy, carbs like breads, chips, cold cereal, stuff like that. And after being there for the weekend, the kid stopped speaking again. Just stuff like that, stuff that is related to the brain that we're not even talking about, that medical doctors themselves aren't even talking about. So when I hear about examples like that, how can you not, think that there's something more into it? Now, even before that, you guys remember Jenny McCarthy. If you don't know who she is, you should check her out. Gen X people probably know who she is. But she had a kid who had autism, and instead of just going with it, she's just like, no, there has to be something more into this. So she did a lot of research, and I think she realized that it was gluten that was causing the autism, blah, blah. Anyway, she ended up, writing a book about it. I can't remember what it was called, but just look up Jenny McCarthy under, books. And she wrote, it basically improved her kid's, autism, just by changing what, he was eating. Just crazy, awesome stories like that. And there's been, again, I use the term studies loosely, but I've heard doctors talking about how, going on the carnivore diet has helped people who've suffered with anxiety, depression. Basically, what I'm saying is that if there's things like this out there, wouldn't you want to try them? Wouldn't you want to see if you could cure yourself by just changing how you eat, by using food to cure yourself and not medicine? I have a brother who has epilepsy, and he's dealt with it for decades. And he tells me that all of a sudden, he started having seizures again, which tells me that the medication isn't working like it used to. And I've dealt with epilepsy myself because of a brain injury. And I said to him, look, dude, I've looked into this carnivore diet thing, and there's been, people who've had, issues with epilepsy, and they got on a carnivore diet, and it decreased, their seizures. Like, wouldn't it be cool? You should just try this. Just do this for, 1 week, see how many seizures you're having, and then the next week you just do straight, carnivore, and just see, like, how cool would it be to figure this out yourself and not have to worry about, your doctor. And he's like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm going to give it a try. Oh, bro. And about a week later, I contacted him. I was like, so, what happened? And he's like, yeah, I wasn't able to do it. I know we all have our weaknesses, our vices, the things, our comfort foods. I get it. I've been there. I've worked through mine for decades of trying different things, and I get that we, have things that we look forward to at the end of the day, whether it be a glass of wine, whether it be ice cream, And what really bothers me is that he said, I just decided to increase my medication. Epilepsy is a big deal. I get it, Like, some people, maybe they'd be scared. I have one last medication that I'm on, and without it, it's scary. That's the only word I can use to describe how I am, how I feel. It's this uncontrollable, and so, I'm intrigued. 0 carbohydrates, would that cure my anxiety? And this isn't like, I feel nervous. This is like my brain shuts down. I can't think, I can't function, I can't work. I am useless. But, maybe there's, something to it. But anyways, I have cut back on my carbohydrates significantly, and then I was like trying, things like raw milk, raw cheese, adding them into my, daily routine. I still seem to be getting, staying pretty lean, which is always great for me. I have fruit every once in a while at the end of the day, like frozen fruit. It's like candy to me, so a little indulgence. But as it continues to get colder, usually my desire for it goes away, because why would I want to eat frozen fruit when I'm, already cold? But you see what I'm saying. So that's just the interesting things that I've learned about, nutrition when it comes to your mental health. Who knew? And again, these are just things that I've thought about, that I've tried to implement. And if I can, give someone some ideas about curing, what, doctors would want to use medicine for, why wouldn't I share it? Yeah. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you, some ideas to just start doing your own research, doing your own, using yourself as a test subject, if you will. And I'll get back to your other questions, and hopefully we can dive more into this.